What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, a bunch of stuff happens every day. That's how reality works. I mean, look, this generation, I've said it before, I'll say it again many million times, that, you know, you see the tide is changing. You see what's going on. You see how Sony's operating, how they're really handling their position, let's just say, in the market. I would say very poorly, not wisely. They are not maintaining position, let's just say. And all of the things that they say, oh, we're this, we're that, we're the best, blah, blah, blah. Sure, you can say that, but reality dictates otherwise based off of numbers, usually. But anyway, the NCAA 24, is that what it is? College Football 24. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it has been absent from video games for like 10 years, 15, a long time. And EA dropped it. They dropped it a while ago. I think it had something to do with the players, like their likenesses, the fact that they weren't getting paid, and And so I think, if I remember correctly, instead of like EA solving the problem back in the day, they just said, forget it, we're out, and just dropped it, basically. I think that's what happened, but you could let me know in the comments if whatever happened. But anyway, they dropped it, and now it's back. And as I understand it, every player that is in the game is being compensated in some way. So that's cool. We want people to get paid, and that's cool. A lot of people liked the whole dichotomy between NCAA and Madden. They'd be like, yo, I'm gonna buy that in the spring. It usually come out early, and then Madden would come out in like August or something, and then they would have like 2 games to play all year, the football fools, and that was cool. I mean, I'm not a football dude. I don't play footballs and stuff. I don't play football in real life or in video game. And so, but I see the value in having both. And now that the other is back, it's cool. Here's the thing. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you get 10 hours of the game. It's a 10-hour trial, if you will. It's like the trials on PlayStation Plus, except this is through Game Pass Ultimate through EA Plus. I think that's what it is. And so what's happening is, a lot of people who want this game, who missed this game from 10 years ago, whatever, they want to play this game, and they figure, oh, I can play the demo, if you will, the 10-hour trial on Game Pass. I already have Game Pass, or maybe I'll just get Game Pass for a month or whatever, And so, because of that free little 10 hours, Game Pass, Xbox Series S's have been selling out. Like everywhere. Well, I mean, I guess based on GameStop numbers. And there was a YouTuber or a panel member. I don't know if he has his own show, but he works at a GameStop. I forget who. He's usually is he on WBG? I can't remember, but he's in that circle. And so, is it Asante? I can't remember. Anyway, he works at a GameStop and is regional. I think he's up in Michigan or something. And he's in the 200-mile radius. There's 3 consoles. That's Series Series S's. Everybody wants the S. Why? Because it's cheaper. It's the cheapest thing, right? It's the cheapest alternative. It's the cheapest option to get your NCAA on, right? And that right there illustrates once again what this generation really is about. It's not about power, okay? When you see the arguments on Twitter by me, by whoever, right? The power narrative and the power arguments are only the console warriors. They're us who grew up, Gen X's, maybe some Gen Y's, Gen Z, excuse me. I don't even know what Gen Y is. Is there a Gen Y? Doesn't matter. Millennials. People who grew up with video games or who have a vested interest in it past just pure enjoyment, because it's a kind of formative, whatever, part of one's persona or I don't want to say identity, but personality, it's part of who you are, tend to be in the console war space a little bit. But people who just want to play games, casuals as we call them, they don't care. And guess what they don't care about? They don't care about power, right? They don't care about that narrative at all. And so when they all went and bought PlayStation 5s, it wasn't because of power. It was because of Spider-Man. I know that was a quick turn right there. Let's get like, what the hell Spider-Man do the NCAA? This is what it has to do with. Sony made a smart decision by scooping up Spider-Man when Microsoft said nah. Microsoft was looking at the money. Microsoft was like, wait, Disney's getting how much percentage and we doing what and this and that? We doing all the work and they taking all the money? Hell no, that's not a good deal for us. But what Microsoft didn't see, Sony saw. Sony saw the value in having an IP like that. Even though they're not really making any money off of Spider-Man. Marvel's making all the money. Sony, the worth is the console sales, if you will, or not even the console sales, like the Spider-Man console sales, they get 50% and Marvel gets 50% of the profits or whatever. But it's about grabbing the audience, grabbing the zeitgeist, grabbing the casuals. And once you grab them, then they'll buy Madden on PlayStation. Then they'll buy Call of Duty on PlayStation. Now, that was the smartest thing that Sony did. Now, Spider-Man is just one game. And also, you do have superhero fatigue. You can't milk the same cow forever and ever. It's going to start turning to powdered milk. You know what I'm saying? Just dust. So you have to have more than one casual, exclusive, if you want to call it that, or something that will cause people to say, I'm going to get this console because of this game. And hopefully for the console maker, it is a casual type of game and also exclusive. I mean, that's like NCAA is not exclusive, but the deal, the exclusivity is in that you get a better deal going through Game Pass, playing it for free for 10 hours. See? And so, and many people who have Xboxes or whatever, or not even, they're going to get one, and it's not even just because of NCAA. That's just the catalyst, right, for some. Those same people probably play Call of Duty, and that's going to be in Game Pass. You see how this is all connected. So NCAA, you get 10 hours. Oh, I'm going to sign up for Game Pass so I can play NCAA, cool. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, Call of Duty's coming out in a couple of months. I might as well pay. What else? Oh, snap, Indiana Jones. Let me just keep playing. It's a domino effect. I'm still paying for Game Pass for years. And I mean, yeah, I probably should go and grab some, stock up on them and get a little deal here and there, save a couple bucks. But it's not a priority for me. I'm like, whatever, save a couple bucks or, pay the full, it's still worth it, even if I pay full price, and that's the beauty of Game Pass. But going back to the whole NCAA thing, right? This is what Microsoft needed. It's what Sony had. They had it going into the PlayStation 5 generation. They had PlayStation 4 and they had Spider-Man. They had that captive audience, right? And so they're announcing, there's going to be a Spider-Man remix, remaster. It's going to be on PlayStation 5. Spider-Man Miles Morales, PlayStation. Already, it's like, well, I guess I'm getting me a PlayStation 5 because Spider-Man. That's it. That's all that. It's simple. It's not like, they're geniuses of this and geniuses. No, they're not geniuses. They captured a demographic, casuals, by having Spider-Man exclusive. Specifically. And the Call of Duty stuff. The Call of Duty deal that they had for that PS4, PS5 generation. That also. So now, they lost Call of Duty. They don't have that anymore, right? And now, like, who would have thought NCAA would be something to sell Xbox? Huh? I'm like, wait, this game is everywhere. So why are people going out to buy Xboxes? What I think it is that they know. The casuals are starting to realize that Call of Duty is Xbox. The association is starting to happen. And if it hasn't happened, right? If they buy an Xbox for NCAA, right? and they're gonna be, they turn it on. Up comes the front page. I mean, the main menu. There's gonna be a little square, Call of Duty, Black Ops, blah blah blah, all up in your face. It's like, why should I turn on my PlayStation? Because I'm right here, just boop. Oh, it's in Game Pass? Let's go. You have no reason to turn on your PlayStation to play Call of Duty if you have an Xbox. Even if it's the worst Xbox, you still have no reason to buy it on PlayStation 5. Moving over to a slightly tangential topic, PlayStation 5 Pro. Man, I said that my Trailer Bailey's like, she started grumbling. Rumors are it's a Tom Warren rumor, so yeah, whatever. Take it with a mountain of salt. It's supposedly delayed. Okay, so we all know that the PlayStation 5 Pro is something that's been rumored. It is by most accounts, by most people in the industry, by everyone I've heard speak on it, like actually speak on it, unnecessary, not wanted. Who is this for, right? That goes back to what I was saying before about the hardcore, us. That's who it's for. It's for the graphics whores. It's not for the casuals. It's not for most of the people who have PlayStation 5s. Also, most of the people who are in the PlayStation ecosystem don't have PlayStation 5s. It's half and half. Let's say half and half. So that isn't most. It is and it isn't most. It's half. And so I'm like, that's not smart. I mean, look, if they did the R&D and it's ready to go, whatever. But they're not going to sell a lot because the PlayStation 4 Pro didn't sell a lot. So the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to sell less than the PlayStation 4 Pro because most people are still on the PlayStation 4 and 4 Pro, right? So there's that. Also, here's what I think. And this is so Sony. So if the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out this year, 2024, then it'll come out. And it'll probably, I don't want to say fail, but it will underperform, let's just say that. If they delay the PlayStation 5 Pro, if it even exists, but let's just say it does. If they delay it, it will no longer be a PlayStation 5 Pro. It's going to be a PlayStation 6. I guarantee it. Because, think about it. The PlayStation 5 is kind of just the PlayStation 4 Pro. Seriously. All they did, I mean, yes, they changed the chipset. Yes, they have faster, I/O and all that stuff, right? But the API behind it, when they make the game, it's the same. That's why everybody gravitated to it, because they already knew how to make games for the PlayStation 4. And basically, they're just making games for PlayStation 4. They're doing the same thing they already know. They don't have to learn anything new. No learning curve. It's like, oh, it's the same. Yeah, this is easy. Boop, boop, boop. And they're doing it. And, oh, we can turn up the graphics a little bit more frames. That's all the PlayStation 5 is. It's a super PlayStation 4 Pro. That's what it is. And that's what the PlayStation 6 will be. The PlayStation 6 will be a PlayStation 5 Pro. Well, no, I'm sorry. It'll be a PlayStation 5 Pro, basically. So they're being quiet right now. They're not saying anything, which they're good at this generation, huh? But they're being quiet because if they show their hand, people will know that, oh, they just pushed it ahead and made it a PlayStation 6 when this was supposed to be a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm saying that because the PlayStation 5 Pro / PlayStation 6 does not exist in a vacuum. And around the PlayStation family of consoles exists Nintendo Switch 2 and whatever the new Xbox is going to be, whether it's the handheld or it's the main big boy or it's both. They might actually do both again at the same time. Who knows? Or maybe they'll stagger it a little bit, do the handheld first and then bring out the big boy later. That might work out better. And so if the timelines are right, and well, Nintendo says they're going to announce their new Switch next year, 2025. So Will it come out that same year? It might come out 2026. Who knows, right? That's fine. Xbox, maybe the same thing. So, and if they're doing a handheld, then Xbox is going to be in competition more so with the Switch than PlayStation at that point because of the handheld nature, right? So, PlayStation 5 Pro is last gen compared to their competition who's coming out with next gen. Their next hardware is next gen, not including that holiday stuff that Xbox announced. So that makes the most sense as far as like, I mean, I understand maybe elongating a generation is fiscally more profitable for a company, maybe, but at the same time, Microsoft wants to improve the number of users, MAUs, right? And so how do you do that? You put out a handheld that looks like the Switch, not looks like the Switch, but acts like the Switch. But it's Xbox flavored. And it has Steam on it. Come on, son. If they do that, I already said I was going to buy one, right? If they do that, then I'm like, let's go, you know? So Sony is like in another weird predicament. I mean, besides not having any games, and that's a problem, you know. The reason, you know, the NCAA stuff, the Call of Duty, all these things that are positive for Xbox, Sony's not reaping the benefits of any of those things. And they were before because they were money-hatting all these games. They were buying the exclusivity or buying the exclusivity away from Xbox. They were prohibiting these companies from making games for Xbox. It's the same thing that Nintendo did back in the day. That's why they were the leader and Sega wasn't, because Sega barely had any games. They eventually got Activision games on the Sega Master System, but before that, it was nothing. You know, Compile made wow, why can't I remember what it was called? Power Strike. It was Power Strike 2 or whatever. They made the same game over and over again, but it's good. It's a good shooter. Anyway, once again, this goes back to what I've always said about Sony, PlayStation. They have no original ideas. Everything that they've done. Well, I would maybe the optical disc is their one original. I think Philips actually invented that. So there's that. But what they're doing now is kind of akin to what Microsoft did during the 360 era, but not as bad, combined with what Nintendo did in the NES era. More so what Nintendo did, because Nintendo's contract with the game companies were, you can make this game for the NES, but you can't make it for nobody else. Doesn't that sound familiar? That was 40 years ago. That was. Yeah. A little less than 40. Sony's doing the same thing. You know, with a little twist, like, we got Call of Duty. So they took the Call of Duty aspect of the 360. They took the exclusivity aspect of the NES, and this is how they're the leaders when they're not really the leaders. It's just a facade. You know, their financials doesn't say they're leaders. Their closing studios doesn't say they're leaders. They're shutting down 6 games of service games doesn't say they're leaders. Their attempt to make a hero shooter doesn't say they're leaders. Concord, look, I don't even want to go into Concord. Listen, I was listening to Dirk Griggity and Sean today, and what do you call it, Piscord or something? I don't remember, but I'll say hands down, Sean and Dirk, they're the funniest dynamic duo in the video games right now. They make me laugh daily. And it's not really, it's them, yes, because they are the heart and soul of that, but it's really the chat. The chat keeps snapping on them. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Today, Dirt had he had a red t-shirt with a blue jersey on top. Pistons jersey. He says it's a Pistons jersey, whatever. But he literally looked like Mario. And they got on him. It was funny. It was so funny. But anyway, back to the topics. Yeah, Sony is look. They have IP, they have some cachet. It is not too late for them to turn the ship around, to course correct. I don't think they know how to. I don't think they understand what they need to do. And I don't think they're willing to do what they need to do. And if you're going to do games of service, you got to commit. And they have a commitment problem. Sony has a commitment problem. PlayStation has a commitment problem with these games. They always have. Look at the past. Look at all of their multiplayer type of games of service games. Look at them. And we can't count Destiny because, as Colin Moriarty says, not your game. Just saying. But you let them destroy all those other that were your games. Man, that's the, okay, last thing. The shame, I am so disappointed because I really, truly, even though I don't mess with PlayStation like that, I don't really like their games, I was really curious as to how factions would be, but not so much factions, but that Spider-Man multiverse game that's going to be a multiplayer, that I was truly interested in that. And that could have been something they should have cooked up a new team, have Insomniac started up, and they have this new team like build content or whatever. They don't know how to do it. They're not willing to do it. Okay, I'm not gonna say they don't know how to do it, but I mean, you look at the history, they haven't done it yet. So even Helldivers, which is, they just published it, they didn't really, I forgot who actually made it. It's not their studio, technically. So I could still say they don't know how to do it because none of their first party studios are making a games of service game. Well, except for this new studio, but this is failing horribly. And I swear these content creators are being so nice. And I'm like, why do they have their nose up Sony's arse so bad? Why are they brown nosing Sony so hard? It has to be a psychological, social condition or something. I have to look into it because I'm like, what is going on? That Sony is like such a not great company when you look at what they do, what they've tried to do. They tried to copyright Let's Play. You remember that? Like what nice company out there is just going to try to make money off of something that's basically just a namesake, free? They didn't come up with it. I can see if they came up with it. They're like, yeah, I mean, one of our guys came up with it. Yeah, no, it's getting popular. We should protect it. No, it's something popular. Internet, you know how the internet works. Boom, and they trying to steal it and grab it. And I'm like, man, shoot, they're crazy. You know? And so they're here with Concord, and nobody likes it. They're like, it's okay. It's they like the graphics are good, the story stuff, the acting was okay, but like no one cares. No one cares about the actors. No one cares about the characters. Excuse me. And there's a giant monster of a shadow lurking behind Concord, and it's Marvel Rivals. And Marvel Rivals is going to destroy Concord so hard. It's ridiculous. I know I said this in the last video, whatever. Who thought it was a good idea over at PlayStation to say, yeah, let's put out Concord before Marvel? They should have saw Marvel Rivals and said, we should probably not be making a game like this. Why are we making a hero shooter? Because, I mean, I get it. They're popular, and it's only Overwatch and there's a couple of other ones, right? No. When you heard that Marvel was making one, you should have said, dang it, can we change this? Because Overwatch was originally something else. It was called, I guess, Project Titan or something. So maybe they should have done the reverse of what Blizzard did with Overwatch and say, well, instead of it a hero shooter, maybe we can make it some regular shooter or something with the story, because we're good at stories. Let's just do that. But they didn't. They could have made it a co-op multiplayer shooter, like in the vein of Gears of War, but maybe 4-player. That's more like Halo. More like Halo, but not like Halo. But you know, that would have been cool. I guess that would have been more like Destiny. But no, but actually like a narrative. Anyway, I'm not trying to solve their problems. They're digging their holes and they're gonna lay in them. But yeah, Marvel Rivals is gonna dish. I saw like 2.5 freaking trailers of Marvel Rivals, maybe 1.5 trailers of Marvel. I saw like the original one that they showed at the whatever game show. It was the Sony State of Play. They showed Concord, then they showed that. I'm like, Okay, you obviously don't know or don't realize that what you did was just destroy Concord's chances, because Marvel Rivals is the only thing anybody's going to care about. And I saw that one, right? And then I saw the Spider-Man one. They saw all the Spider-Mans and stuff. I was like, I won't play that. That's the multiplayer Spider-Man game that Sony was making, but said nah, because Bungie. And now, guess who's making it? Marvel's making it. I don't know what the company is making it, but now it's Marvel's game. And now it's free to play too. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna be like, yo, let's get into an all Spider-Man room, and it's Spider-Man, Venom, all the Spider-Man. They could literally do that. They could be like all Spider-Man playlists and just all Spider-Man characters. So many Spider-Man characters. They could do that. That's how those games work. Or, I mean, it could work that way. So I'm like, look, I don't know, man. Look, at this point, I'm rumbling, but y'all know what's up. Hit me up in the comments below. What you think about Concord's chances against Marvel Rivals? 0, right? Yeah, I get it. And also, the whole NCAA, making people want Xboxes now, and how, if you have the must-buy game, or the, what is it called again? Wow, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it doesn't matter. When you have something that is that powerful, like Spider-Man, like NCAA, Madden, all these things, Call of Duty, does it shift? Does it make people want to buy Xboxes? I mean, Jim Ryan knew it. He said yes. He said if they buy Activision Blizzard King, we're done. We will never recover. And the fact of the matter is that he was right, but not because of the Call of Duty aspect of it, but it's because their business model was screwed up and they were not lagging behind the times, the changing times. It's a combination of both. But if they had all their ducks in a row and they had gas games that were making money, that would be all right. They'd make a little bit less money because of Call of Duty, or Microsoft would make more money off of the backs of their fans. But when it came down to it, they were making a lot of money off of Call of Duty. And they still will make a little bit, but every copy they sell is more money in Microsoft's pocket. Man, that's such a bad feeling. It's like, man, they getting pimped out. They getting pimped out by Marvel, and now they're gonna get pimped out by Xbox. Hilarious. Anyway, at least I appreciate y'all. Seriously, I do. Music is still in my head. It's still coming. Don't you worry. Once I'm gonna leave town for a little bit, but once I get back, I'm full steam ahead. I'm gonna get these songs done for you guys. August, I want to drop a song in August. That's my goal. I said it now, so it has to happen. So yeah. And yeah, that's it for today. But I appreciate. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Till the wait.